If you'd listened to the media and made your investment decisions based on what they're telling you, well, you'd have lost a lot of money, put it that way, because the media have been telling us Volkswagen as a group, the all-powerful Volkswagen and, all the other car companies, Toyota, etc., would catch up to Tesla and probably BYD as well. But particular Tesla, that by 2025, Tesla would be outsold by numerous large global automotive companies. They say this every single year, but interestingly, rather than the gap closing and this coming to some kind of truth, as in rather than Volkswagen Group and other groups actually getting closer to Tesla, they're actually getting further away, which is really strange because we rarely ever even hear about this. Let's have a look at the comparison of where BYD and Tesla are this year in comparison to the Volkswagen Group and where they were last year. We can see what's really happening, not what the media are trying to make you believe. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. I'm the Electric Viking. It's great to have you. Thank you for tuning in. Really interesting stuff here. Now, this year, BYD and Tesla have in fact grown their lead on the Volkswagen Group. That's something that is not really being reported at all, and I think it should because it shows where the automotive industry is heading. And I said when I started this channel that the two biggest automakers in the world by 2030, I could be off by a few years, let's wait and see, would be Tesla and BYD. At the time, BYD wasn't really known outside of China. In fact, most people didn't know about my channel because they didn't know about BYD. Now, things have changed drastically, and they continue to do so. This incredible change in the automotive industry, this greatest disruption in the automotive industry's history, is happening at a rapid pace. And people are saying, no, EV adoption is slowing down. Not if you actually look at the numbers. If you care about facts, well, that fact is not a fact. In fact, it's a false fact. Here are the real facts. In the second quarter of this year, Tesla delivered nearly 467,000 electric cars. That's an increase of 83% year over year. BYD worldwide, they delivered 352,000 electric cars. Oh, hang on a minute. That's less than Tesla. 115,000 less than Tesla. Well, didn't the media all tell us that BYD were now beating Tesla? Last year, they said this, right? I'm sure they'll say it again very soon. Well, I'm talking here about fully electric cars. If you really believe that a hybrid, a plug-in hybrid or a hybrid, anything else with a petrol engine inside of it is an electric car, this is probably not the right channel for you because I don't believe that. I think that's completely wrong. And I believe that's a completely different type of vehicle. The key reason for that is because most people who have a plug-in hybrid don't use it as an electric car. We know that from massive research studies that have been done worldwide. People just get lazy. I don't know how that makes sense because I don't see how it's easier to go and fill your car up with gasoline and waste your money doing that, but they do. So these are just fully electric car sales. And going by those numbers, Tesla still has a sizable lead over BYD. Will that change? Probably. Probably by the end of next year, BYD will have jumped a bit above Tesla. I'm going to guess that Tesla's factory in Mexico won't be up and making millions of Model 2s by then, but it probably will be by the end of 2025. And then the race will be on between BYD and Tesla, and it will be closer than what people realize. Just because BYD has 170 different models, no, they don't have it. I think they've got about 45, doesn't mean they'll be able to sell more cars. And the key reason I say that is, yes, BYD are closing the gap. You can see the change there for BYD. They're growing at a faster pace than Tesla, but keep in mind, growth in China is restricted. And right now, there's only 3 real car markets in the world. Put it this way. There's China, there's Europe, and there's North America. Outside of that, yeah, there's car markets, but they only represent a small percentage of the global car market. The majority of the cars sold in the world, more than nearly 90% are sold in those 3 regions. China is obviously BYD's key market. Now, the problem here that BYD are facing is they don't plan on selling cars in North America, but they want to succeed in Europe. They have numerous models on sale in Europe and they're not selling. Tesla vehicles are selling well in Europe because they don't have a distributor. They don't have to sell through some dodgy local company, marking up the price of the cars, which is exactly what BYD's distributors are doing in Europe. They mark up the price of the cars, make them too expensive, and they're not selling. I mean, they are not selling. I barely even register on the sales charts. I'll make a video showing you just how bad this is. for BYD. The other thing is that Europeans seem to not want to buy what they see as being Chinese cars. Now, MG is a Chinese car. A lot of Teslas are now Chinese, but they don't see it that way. They see BYD as Chinese. MG they think is a British car company, even though it's not anymore. So that's part of the problem here for BYD. So the problem is for BYD, how much can they grow when their main markets are China, Thailand, Australia, and Israel? They have 4 countries where about 98% of their cars are sold. Those 4 areas. Now, obviously, Israel and Australia, very small countries, small population, small car market. Same with Thailand. Not much that BYD can do there. They need to get bigger in Europe. It's going to be tough for them to do so because of the reasons that I just mentioned. So at some point, BYD's growth will stagnate because the Chinese car market is saturated with EV manufacturers. It's saturated with EVs. It's got millions of cars sitting around in graveyards. Not graveyards, but just car parks that are not selling. There's too many cars being made in China, even though it's a car market of 27 million cars per year. That's BYD's challenge. So will BYD catch up to Tesla? I think they will, but it's going to be a tough race between those two. Will continue to disrupt the big companies such as Volkswagen Group. Getting to Volkswagen Group, their sales have grown. Yes, it's true they've grown. They've increased in this quarter by 53% versus the same quarter last year to 180,000. You can see that's only 39% of Tesla's electric car sales. 39%. And that number is extremely misleading. The reason I say that, Tesla in the second quarter of this year sold more EVs than it did in the fourth quarter of last year and more than it did in the first quarter of this year. Its growth has consistently gone upwards. However, not so for the Volkswagen Group. Their numbers are sort of all over the place, and they sold, so far this year, less EVs than they sold in the second half of last year. EV sales at the company are really not growing very much. That's a key reason why they've just gone and fired 30% of their staff at their biggest electric car factory in Germany and put production on hold and said there's no demand for some of their models. EV adoption is not what we thought it was. While EV sales in Europe are skyrocketing, the best-selling car in Europe is an EV. Just because it's not a Volkswagen vehicle doesn't mean that EV growth is rapid. So this means, as you can see, that Tesla's increase in sales this year is actually pretty significant. The difference to Tesla is 285,901 vehicles. That's an increase of 109% year over year. The Volkswagen Group, the conglomerate, the mega conglomerate, they have 15 different car brands, is getting further away from Tesla, who only really mass market sell 2 models. And one of them is on hold because it's getting a refresh. It's getting a big change. During the first half of this year, that's the most important thing to look at. Tesla nearly delivered 900,000 EVs. BYD exceeded 600,000. The Volkswagen Group, only just over 300,000. 1/3 of Tesla's numbers. This is actually really significant. The reason for this is Volkswagen opened a massive car factory in China. They spent billions of dollars on that factory, and Volkswagen's EVs are not selling very well in China at all. Really abysmal. The group's EVs are not selling. They've just fired the head of Audi, the CEO of Audi in China, because of the sales way below expectations. And now, of course, Volkswagen as a group, they're going to use XPeng's old EV platform. They've just bought that. And they're going to use SAIC, or the Chinese government-owned company SAIC, their EV platform for Audi EVs. The group as a whole are basically saying, making an EV platform is too difficult. We'll use ones from China. And I'm not really convinced in that strategy for Volkswagen as a group. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. So far this year, Tesla, 890,000 deliveries, up 57% year over year. BYD has grown faster. 616,800 deliveries, up 91% year over year, or 69% of Tesla's results, says Inside EVs. Volkswagen Group, 321,000 deliveries, up 48% year over year, or 36% of Tesla's result, meaning the Volkswagen as a group are behind Tesla by 568,000, meaning Tesla's lead has grown by 63% year over year, and that tells you everything you need to know. I think in the medium term, it's actually possible Volkswagen Group will start to catch up to Tesla. But when Tesla's factory in Mexico starts producing the Model 2, when their factory in Germany and Texas, when they ramp up production, I think Tesla should be able to continue to eat into the Volkswagen Group sales, but not just the Volkswagen Group, probably even more so other competitors such as Toyota, Honda, Nissan, primarily Japanese competitors that are really not making any EVs at all, not making any real serious attempts to mass manufacture electric cars. That's the true world picture. Don't really listen to the media. It's a waste of time because they don't tell you any of these real facts, these real numbers that show that actually the opposite to what they predicted. All the experts on Wall Street, what do they all say? They all said by 2025, Tesla's competitors will have swamped them. They'll be beating them in EV sales. Yeah, Tesla will still be doing okay, but there'll be nothing in comparison. Well, we're seeing really the opposite to that play out.